Hit him with that.
Hello. Welcome to Cash Furnace. My name is Paul Kinzerski, and together with my co host Eric Downs, we aim to become your number one go to source for daily stock and crypto news. Today's date is January 26th, 2021. In today's podcast, we're covering GME, GameStop's massive short squeeze today. Eric's Purple Challenge has begun for his purple mattress, and a bit of a depressing Bitcoin ETF report from Kathy Wood, as well as we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart, see where we're headed, up or down. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see and you want the news to keep coming, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's run up that YouTube algorithm and let's make some money.
Let's do it.
So, we're going to start with the crypto news today because we want to end on a good note. Bringing this up right now, Kathy Wood had a little bit of insight on the Bitcoin ETF fund for the S&P 500. Unfortunately, Kathy, our Lord and Savior, said that she doubts U.S. regulators are going to exchanges Bitcoin exchange traded funds before the cryptocurrency's cap reaches around $2 trillion. So, unfortunately, this was a big promising event, right? Just general Bitcoin bulls. If we got major institutions to put even 1% of their investment capital into Bitcoin, we would have seen, I believe estimates were around a $42,000 to $45,000 Bitcoin rise in price, just because of how much would be taken off the market. If we had 2.5% institutional investment, we'd see somewhere around the 100K mark, right? Increase. So that would see right around 135. So yeah, unfortunate news for all of the Bitcoin bulls right now. It looks like we have a $2 trillion target to hit. So everybody whip open that checkbook and start buying some more Bitcoin.
Hey, I bought some more today.
That a boy. I mean, there's not much more to say than that. So we can share screens on this.
But we should be smooth with it.
Let's see here. Of course, it doesn't have. Hold on a second. Sorry to our viewers. I'm still getting used to this whole thing as well. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at this chart now. We are looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin US dollar Bitstamp chart. As you can see here, from our highs of 42,000, we've come down to this 30,000, 32,000 range quite a few times now. And recently, over the past week or so, we've been slowly consolidating down more and more, and we're hitting the bottom of this descending triangle, right? Typically, this is a bearish case, right? To put it into perspective for our listeners, when you see a downtrending slope like this, it means, and we're constantly testing a flat bottom, it means that the bears' pressure, those that want it to go down, is basically overriding any bullish attempt to break out of this structure. So we have been slowly testing, rejection, right? And I think, and we've been testing this bottom pretty heavily, right? Now, I think we have one more good run up in us here. I think we're going to test one more time, run up, and try to break through this. If we could break through this, we're going to see a retest right around, let me draw some horizontals here. These are the key levels right here. We have a line here. We have a major line here. and we have one other one right at that 40K level, right? So in order to break out of this, first thing we're going to need to do is break this descending resistance, right? And if we break down here, we're going to hit that before the 35 mark, I'm pretty sure, if we retest. Our next big stop will be right at this $3,700, $3,800 level where there's been a ton of volume recently, right? The biggest volume is this 35.5 level. We have another significant one at this 38 level. And then, of course, we have that major psychological level of 40,000. If we go on a run and we break through this 35.5 and this 38 level with good volume, we see there are blue skies in our future. However, the bearish scenario in this instance, we could be seeing right around this $2,600 level. Right here. So if we break this structure, it means we're going to sell off hard, probably hit right around this 2,700, 26.8 level, and then we'll bounce, and we have to see where it goes from there. So there's not much predictions I could give here because we have to let this chart play out, and we have to see where it goes, and then you make your plays. I'm completely out. I have no trades open right now. It is what it is. But there might be a little bit more to this pullback before we go on this run. Now, to put this in perspective for our viewers, I'm still very, very bullish for the rest of this year. But we might get a chance here at this 26.8, 2,700 level to accumulate a little bit more at these cheap prices. That 2,600 level is where the most institutional money is sitting right now. And I think that's going to be a very, very hard level, a very solid floor for us to bounce off of. I don't think we're going through that. We'd have to see some serious, serious bearish sentiment in order to get through that level. So, and that's pretty much it.
Paulie, so just to educate our viewers and my dumb self, with Bitcoin, what are we seeing as the major, like, for instance, let's say we took a leg down to 26, right? Mm-hmm. I think a leg up is kind of self-explanatory, right? It's people rallying in, let's go. But we're kind of in like a little mini sideways channel right now, right? Consolidating.
That's right.
And what's the catalyst? What takes us down? If we went down to 26, what's going to take us there? Why would it go down further? Why would it break that 32 support?
So right now there is a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the air about Bitcoin's future. We have talks of major legislation coming, where they're potentially talking about taxing crypto gains to exponential rates above where you would see in the stock market. They're talking about basically possibly defunding the currency while they figure out ways to legislate around it, right? Like make it illegal for a short period of time, which is a big fear of crypto in general. Again, this kind of goes off of what we were talking about in previous podcasts, right? Where I feel like I keep reiterating the same points, but it's the truth. The government doesn't want to lose the power of being the main monetary system of the world right now. That gives our country significant power, that gives everyone in government significant power over the rest of the world and their population as well, right? If all of a sudden you aren't in charge of doing things like printing money for the masses because the masses have switched to crypto-based financing, if you all of a sudden your exports aren't as significant and aren't as weighted because not everybody's paying in US dollar anymore, that takes a lot of power out of the country. So there are a lot of fears right now around what's going on. And then we get this Kathy Wood saying that institutions really aren't buying into the rate that we want them to in order to make the SEC feel safe, that we have to hit this $2 trillion cap now, right around that range, right? There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of doubt right now. But we are in the 4-year parabolic trends, and we have just started this year's parabolic trend. We've only, I know it sounds crazy to say, but we've only doubled Bitcoin's price. Normally, in all of history, after the Bitcoin halvings, where Bitcoin miners can only get half as much Bitcoin out of the same amount of computing power that they had last year, right? Every time the stock normally does around a 20x. And I still completely believe that's where we're going. It's almost funny, right? Because we've seen this massive monetary spike in the value of Bitcoin compared to USD. And we've only had a week off from these absolutely massive gains. But everybody that has bought in at these prices is completely losing their shit because it hasn't continued on that first parabola. But if you look at the history, right, and we've covered this in past podcasts where I showed you those fractals, we are just in the beginning. It is a very small dip from where we are going to go. So I still have utmost faith that in 2-3 months, well, this is a blip in the radar, man.
All right, I hope so.
I hope so. So let's get to the fun part.
Okay.
Let's get to GameStop in your purple place.
GameStop, dude. Listen. What is today? Tuesday. On Sunday, I put a note in my phone. I always set every night, anytime after market up until like 2 a.m. or something like that. If I wake up to pee or something, I'll put a reminder to pop up on my phone at 6:20 every day before I start putting options trades on. I'm normally up at like 5:30 anyway, but 6:20 is my reminder to actually put plays on.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, man? Let's try it. Let's do it. Let's grab a GameStop call. I forgot.
You're kidding.
And I was like, and I got so caught up because like today was, I will say this, today was a very, very green day for my portfolios. And so I was like very much like, market's open, everyone's jumping around. I'm just like scanning through, just making sure everyone's cool. All right, you're up. You're not 2 down, you're fine. Still waiting on you. Make sure if anyone's majorly red, take a look at their chart, see if it's something I want to hold on to. If anyone's majorly green, take a look at their chart, see if it's time to close, pick the berry off the branch kind of thing. And I got too caught up in that because there was a lot of movement today, and I forgot to open a GameStop call. Now I have the chart up in front of me. GameStop was up another 92% today and an additional 41% after hours.
And they're still holding. So to give the listeners some background, right? Because not everybody follows these Wall Street bets like we do, or the news like this. Wall Street Bets for the past couple weeks has been doing their homework on GameStop.
Can I
a stock that
technically this is a year in the making. The original bet, I looked into this. The original bet. You guys want to, Paulie? I'm going to let you keep going. If you guys want to look into this, hop onto Wall Street Bets. Look for a user named Deep Fucking Value. He's been holding this position for a year now, and he would post his account all the time, going negative, and his account is currently at 22 million. Take it back, Paulie. Go ahead. I just want to set the stage. This is not just a little thing that just happened. There are people who have been planning this for a long time, who knew this opportunity was coming and had the diamond effing hands to hold on through a year of nothing or losses at times, and it's
Okay.
paying off. So anyway,
So
go.
so the news has been ramping up, I should say, the past couple weeks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
What this user identified is what is called a short squeeze. It's We've gone over this in old podcasts, but just to reiterate, when you short a stock, at a certain point, if that stock rises, you are forced to buy it, therefore making the stock rise even more, where other shorts might have to be liquidated and forced to buy. And it rises and it rises and it rises. What these Wall Street Bet chads absolutely identified was a massive short by what was the group? It was Marvin Capital?
Melvin. I mean,
Melvin Capital.
it's several institutions, but that's
But Melvin
Oh,
Melvin was the one that they got insight into
and well,
because for
that's
some reason their short got publicized, which was a $50 million short
yeah.
on GameStop. Now, looking at it from Melvin's perspective, this is a no-brainer. GameStop is a dying company. There's not much that they've done to change things. Retail stores are going out of business with COVID, right? It's a smart short in the traditional sense, but options are so damn cheap on GameStop. What these guys were able to do was buy a shitload of them. Everybody together bought a metric fuck ton of options. And when you buy an option, you have to, that brokerage that you use has to buy 100 of those shares in order to give you those shares should said option get exercised. Long-winded, long story short, this Marvin Capital
Melvin.
got short squeezed. Melvin Capital got short squeezed to absolute death. Lost $32 million, I believe, so
They're
far.
30% down year to date, which is just under a month, and had to apply for emergency capital injection.
So two other investment firms had to inject capital for shares of their company, I believe, or something like that, in order to save them from a bunch of retail investors on Wall Street Bets. This is the biggest David and Goliath
Yeah.
trading scenario we've ever seen, and it is so fantastic to watch.
This is like a forest full of squirrels teaming up and taking down a bear. Literally a bear.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I
somehow
would say
pulling it off.
chipmunks, not even
Chipmunks.
squirrels.
I agree.
It's something so insignificant
I
that
know.
like
It's unbelievable.
it's
And the thing
it's
is,
so cool to watch.
and when you're in Melvin, when you're in, for our users again, our watchers who they're not watchers either, they're viewers. Whew, took me three tries. For our viewers who are for whom the concept of a short squeeze is new, these things they happen, but they don't happen to this magnitude. This is historical magnitude. There have been some in the past.
Right, and they're done generally though by large institutions who see these opportunities and have the capital in order to raise the price enough to start the short squeeze in itself. It's never been done by a bunch of retail investors.
Right. This is the first time that's ever happened, and I don't know how you measure a short squeeze. I'm sure there's some sort of good metric, but this is absolutely, if this isn't the biggest short squeeze, it's one of the biggest ones of all time, and we're sitting in the middle of it right now. What's really interesting is that if you are a short like Melvin Capital, the most frustrating thing is that every day what's driving up the price of the stock has nothing to do with the underlying fundamentals of the company at all. It's strictly mechanics. It's a strictly mechanical failure in the stock market. Or I don't know if you can qualify it as a failure, but it's an incredible phenomenon. But the thing is, if you look at any short squeeze historically, if you look at the chart of a short squeeze, you'll see it shoots up like a rocket, and then it comes right back down like a rocket. So the confounding thing to Melvin is that when you're holding these short positions and you're waiting for it to come down, every day when it goes up another 100%, 150%, yeah, your position is looking blood red, deep black red, black blood, whatever, super bad. But you're thinking the whole time, dude, this can't last. This will come down. The thing is, they're right. It will. But now it's
Mm-hmm.
a game of how long they can hold out at a massive multi-million, or how much was it? A multi-million dollar loss. How
Yeah, I think
long?
it was 32, but that was today at like midday that I
Oh
saw that.
yeah,
They've lost
it's
significantly more since.
yeah, 100. Yeah. So it's this crazy game of chicken between a bunch of little chipmunks and this massive bear, or in this case, massive bears. Again, Melvin is not the only one. That the the
Right.
the the magnitude of the short squeeze is directly correlative to the amount of shorts in the trade.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what builds it. So when a huge short squeeze like this happens, it just tells you that this stock was massively shorted, massively. Little chipmunks are upending all of these massive bears. So the question for me now is, I missed the boat today on a basically on 130% gain in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Should I try it tomorrow?
I mean, that's up to you. Here's the main question, right? Do these regular retail investors that have started and now have, to put it into perspective, this guy that started over a year ago that identified this short squeeze bought $50,000 worth of options. They are now what, 2.2 million?
No, 22 million.
Oh, sorry, 22 fucking million dollars. So, how long does a regular guy have the conviction to hold out on that?
So
At what point does it hit an amount in your account where you're like, fuck it, I'm selling this all, I'm buying an island, right? And I'm living out my days because I don't care if the stock price drops at this point. I'm a fucking multimillionaire.
I don't. That's. I mean, 22 million. That's your life is completely
You're
fundamentally
set.
changed.
You're done.
You're set for you. You're done. If anyone here is familiar with the concept of FIRE, financial independence, retirement early, the concept of this is that you have enough money that you can invest it very conservatively, and the interest alone will fund your
Mhm.
life. And their
We'll
concept
fund more than you're at 22 million.
what
Fund more
well
than your
that's the
life.
thing.
Yeah,
For a lot of
you
people,
can't
that
spend
number
that
sits
money.
around a lot of people, that number sits around 1 to 3 million, depending on what your cost of living is. For a regular person,
Mhm.
22 million means this guy can live the life of a Hollywood movie star on interest alone.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So the question for you, if you're going to open a position, is do you think these regular people that are making a fucking killing right now have the conviction to continue to hold out? Are they that greedy where they're going to continue this throughout the rest of the week? At what point do you think people are going to start pulling? Because there
That's the
will be a
thing.
point.
There will be a point. This absolutely will. There will be a point. But the thing is, yeah, how long this lasts, I don't know how to quantify that, how to forecast that. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure anyone does.
Mm.
I'm not sure a single person in the world knows how. Because if when it opened, I don't know, it opened like 30% up today. And I was like, and it started to just fade off a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'll wait for it. I'll wait a minute. Okay. And it like kind of just sat flat all day, and then at the end of the day it skyrocketed. So
Yep.
you think it's over? No, it's not even close. 140% today. And that's
And if you look at the forums, everybody's touting the $1,000 number, right?
I
They're gonna
know.
get GameStop to $1,000,
So
which it started at 14. 14.
I'm
It's at
gonna
140 right now, 147.
oh, it's a 20
Oh, because
209.
it went up after hours too.
Yeah, 209,
So
dude.
I mean, Is it possible? I don't know. It's we are literally seeing history being made. It is so cool to watch, and I encourage any viewers out there who might see this to follow this because it's mind-boggling.
Dude,
It is so cool.
he posted Deep fucking Value posted his positions today, and 5 hours ago was just after market close. These are.
Mhm.
Let me look at this real quick. He's got stock, he's got stock and shares. But this screenshot, which shows 22.8 million in value in his position.
Has gone up another
Today's gain,
47%.
today he made $9 million today. Today.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
this is all based off of market close. It went
Right.
up 41% after this.
So it's
So
crazy,
what
man.
I'm going to do, I'm just going to tell you right now. What I'm going to do after we're done, I'm going to go on Wall Street Bets and I'm going to read. And I'm just going to see what the hive mind, what the chipmunks are saying.
Mhm.
And I might open a position tomorrow. And I'm going to
Hey,
have to
man.
diamond hands the thing.
Yeah, I salute your fortitude if you do.
I think I'm going to try it for fun.
We'll have to this will have to be a daily update to all our
We will.
users because
Yeah,
this is again, this is history being made.
it is.
We don't want to stick on this too long, but it's cool.
Well,
So
look,
let's
speaking of cool, cool trades.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know this, Paulie. I may have mentioned this to you. I started my purple challenge today. I opened my first purple
You did.
position. So, viewers, for those of you unfamiliar, Paulie, do you want to explain to them?
Yeah, Eric's paying for a purple mattress by trading purple.
Yeah,
That's pretty much the
that's
synopsis of it,
basically
right?
it. That's basically
Yeah.
it. Purple is such a good purple stock moves so much, mostly upward, that and I've been watching it for so long and recently learned a little bit about more about the fundamental operations of the company and why that actually has a long road ahead of it. I'm going to try and trade options to the point where I can set aside enough to buy a $1,500 purple mattress and an extra pillow and tax. So I don't know what that's going to be, $1,800 or something. I don't know, Matt.
So what position what how much capital did you allot
Sure. So
towards your position? You opened the short today, right?
no, I sold a put today. So
Okay.
here, I'll bring it up here. So what did I do? So I noticed that purple today was basically just blowing off of a recent spike from yesterday. Is when I
Mhm.
really wanted to get in, and I was kicking myself for forgetting, because I probably could have made most of the mattress yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, so it looks like it's blowing off a little bit from its huge spike yesterday, which saw a giant top wick candle, big resistance, which is a good sign. And so I was like, okay, it's gonna cool off. There's a ton of upward momentum and support on this stock all the time. So I didn't necessarily want to I didn't want to short it because I didn't know how low it could really go
Right.
because it's so well supported. So instead, what I did is I sold a 35 strike call. Right? Did I do that? Let me check. I sold a 35 strike call for $296. So
So
in
explain to the viewers what
Sure.
that does.
So, I'm sorry. I sold a put. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I sold a put. Sorry, I don't mean to confuse you before I confused you. Um, so users, if you users, my lord, viewers, if you're not familiar with options, now is probably not the time to learn about them right now. But basically, options allow you to trade regular stocks with a fraction of the money with a ton of leverage. So basically, if you play options well, you can use a little bit of money and make a huge multiple. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, you can use options to profit when the stock goes up or down, or you can also the fun thing about options is that you can both buy and sell them to basically bet on any movement a stock can make, whether it's up, down, or sideways, actually, believe it or not. So my take on purple was I checked out the chart. I saw big support. Let me just bring it back up here. Oh, my app is frozen. That's nice. I saw basically big support around the range a little bit above 35. So what I did is I sold what's called a cash secured put at the strike price of 35. What that means is if purple goes below $35 a share, it basically says that I promise to buy, or I'm willing to buy 100 shares of that stock at $35 a share. So
Mm-hmm.
the cool thing about this is, check it out. So I'm basically willing to risk $3,500 on a stock that long term I think is going up. Sure, no problem. If I do this, I'm not guaranteeing, but opening myself up to the potential to buy low, which is, come on, that's mantra number one: buy low, sell
Mm-hmm.
high. But what's neat about this is that I collected $296 in hand just for making this bet. And if purple doesn't go down below 35, if it goes up, or even if it goes down to 36 and just goes sideways, over time, my bet, even if it's wrong, I'm going to keep the $296 and then I can bet on it going back up.
Right.
So we're going to get in. We're actually going to be starting an options series pretty soon, where I teach Paulie how to use options, and Paulie's going to be trading in a freshly funded small Robinhood account. So we'll go over we'll get to some of these strategies eventually, but that's what I did today. So basically my bet today was that for $296 in my pocket, I'm saying purple is going to stay above $35 a share. That's it.
So to give the viewers a little insight into just how much leverage can net you, right? I had a play a couple of weeks ago where I managed to buy a company called Workhorse, but I identified an area where I thought it was at its low, right? And every time before their quarterly announcement, they ramp up. Their price constantly gets run up because they have a potential deal with USPS, and everyone hopes that they get in before this USPS deal is announced, because if it does get announced, it's going to absolutely fly. However, I'm not a big options trader, and options were quite a premium for that stock because it rises and falls. We don't need to get into this semantics of it, but basically I couldn't afford the options to the amount that I would want. It has run well up due to some good EV news and the fact that this quarterly announcement is coming soon. And I'm up 58%. Now, most people would say 58% on your shares, wow, that's a killer gain. Yes, it is. However, if I had options and it ran up 58%,
you'd be in the triple digits.
Easily,
Yep.
making many multiples of that 58%.
Yep.
So there are, now to put it in perspective, that leverage also is to your detriment, right?
Right.
So you have to have a very high conviction trade in order to pull an option, right?
Yes.
But there are ways, which Eric is going to teach me, right, and all of you, that you could make money going both ways or sideways for the price, right? Traditionally, what will happen is if you buy a Workhorse option at $20 and it stays in that $20 range for 2 years, you're not making any money, right? The value of that stock has not changed. Therefore, you don't get any money. With options, however, there are strategies that you could put into play where it could trade sideways forever and you make money as it goes sideways.
That's
so
right.
We'll get into all that more. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight of just how much you can potentially make if you play this options game correctly. Anything else before we end it today? I know it wasn't too stellar of a day. I wish we had yesterday's chat up and live.
Oh, no
But
worries. I think today's episode was great, Polly.
but we'll keep pulling these out, and we'll get some more exciting ones for everyone, and hopefully put on your Bitcoin pants, man. I want this thing to go up and not down.
Me too.
But,
Me too.
we'll see how it plays out, and as always, we will keep you guys informed with the daily uploads.
That's right. So once again, this is the Cash Furnace. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Eric Downs. This is my co-host Paula Kinzierski. If you like what you've heard and you want to see more, please do us 3 favors: like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what
That's
you
right.
what you like out of the show. Let us know what you'd like to hear more about, and we would
And
love.
we will be going live every single day now. This is our news. So hit that notification bell if you want to get the news as quickly as possible. Because this is going to be our new format. We want to stay relevant. We want to stay up to date for you guys. So
That's right. All right,
all right.
Polly. Till then, let's make some money.
See you guys.